do not.
Last year at a gala awards dinner in Toronto, Rush was presented with an Artist of the Decade award. Now, no question that after 18 records that sold some 30-odd million copies around the world, that they in fact deserved to get the Artist of the Decade award. But the joke for the band was, well, for which decade are they honoring us? Actually, this event spurred yet another flood of questions about the band's longevity. And did they feel that they in fact had something musically and lyrically yet to say? Well, with Roll the Bones, the band's latest record, the band has proved, yes, once again, they have a lot to say, both musically and lyrically. They have a lot to write about. And, even more importantly, Rush remains a band that gives the listener something to think about.
The album is kind of based on the concept of chance and the kind of way it affects our lives in obvious and not so obvious ways. And Roll the Bones is an old expression for, you know, roll the dice.
Before Presto, we were pretty exhausted, and then we've talked about this before. We were kind of burned out from touring, and we took a good break and got back into that record with a lot of enthusiasm. And the tour that followed was probably one of the best tours we've ever done. It was paced well, and we went to, you know, really good parts of America, and
the good parts.
Just the, well, we went to a bunch of good parts. Not all the good parts, mind you, but we went to a number of good parts there. And
what are the good? Never mind. As Alex was saying, the last tour was a lot of fun, and when it came time to do this record, I think we just found ourselves, you know, fired up, and we accomplished a lot of things in writing the album in terms of sound that seemed to have a lot of energy. And I think that it was a kind of a snowball effect. The more energy we were putting into what we were doing, the more we were getting back out of it.
Feels like a new beginning, is that what it is?
yeah, it sort of does.
New
doesn't it?
beginning.
Yeah.
That's a good new beginning.
Yeah.
I like that.
You know, I'm going to go talk to the man when I come back to let you shoot.
Janice!
If I could ask you to stay in an imaginary circle that's 1 yard out from that, that would be the first thing. The second thing is, if you wanted to join Geddy at a certain point like you did yesterday, because that looked cool, sort of join him on his mark. All right?
All right.
Is this my mark?
Yep, I think it is.
Am I restricted to this mark?
Actually, it's restricted a little bit, but not, especially in these long shots, not, like let's say a yard in diameter around there. Let me ask you, what would you naturally do if you weren't restricted at all?
I'd probably walk in a yard in diameter around this.
That's, what an amazing coincidence. I'm
right
happy.
here.
I think, Neil, we're going to rotate you in the bulk of these shots today, okay? If it gets to be too weird, just let me know.
It's fun.
Okay.
Unlike a lot of other rock and roll bands, the lyrics are very, very intelligent in a Rush song, and yet the music's still hard rocking. And that's what I look for as a video director when I want to do a successful video. I want lyrics that are more than just your typical nonsense throwaway lyrics, and I want a band that can really rock and roll. Rush is both those things.
You have once again tackled some fairly heavy stuff on this record, Neil.
I don't think the element of chance in a random universe is particularly heavy.
Oh, really? I think it is. I mean, just the first, well, the opening lines almost of Roll the Bones, why are we here because we're here?
Yeah, well, it came by levels. I mean, as I mentioned in the bio, I started with a simple line in Face Up about turning a wild card down, and that came about through wordplay. I was just thinking about the phrase turn it up, which is, you know, a pretty elemental, pretty everyday sensual thing. You know, you like the music, turn it up. But then I was thinking about turning up other sensations, and it became a metaphor. And then I thought, well, what else do you turn up or turn down? Well, you turn a card down in euchre or some game. And I thought, well, that's a wild card. And then I thought, wild card, yeah. And then it became deeper. I started thinking, okay, the elements of wild card in all of our lives. You know, the choices we make, certainly, but the conditions that happen to be favorable or unfavorable to that choice. I mean, for all of us, the number of times we escape death, you know, as teenagers, doing crazy things or heedless things, truly thoughtless things, but we survive. And there's such an element of chance about that, too. So that whole element of chance just became such a great, it was a theme on its own, but also a metaphor for a lot of other thoughts. And the chance of enduring love is one aspect of it. How chance can be, for instance, no matter how intelligent you are born and how good your genes are, if you happen to be born in Chad or Ethiopia or born in Bulgaria any time in the last 100 years, I mean, the odds become frighteningly high against you. So all these things came into it where sometimes you can choose the odds, sometimes you can certainly improve the odds by the choices you make, and that's one factor that I wanted to make very clear because I didn't want it to seem futile. So that's why I Rolled the Bones, I thought, was the ultimate title, because it is the ultimate statement in spite of all these questionings and thinking about contingency and the accidents that can happen in life. The essence of it still, you can't remain sort of helpless facing a universe of futility. You've got to do something, really, and either do something or not do something. It's both are a choice, so I figured choose the risk, you know, choose the adventure.
Tell me what Roll the Bones is about.
It's about fate, chance, and destiny.
And do you believe in those concepts?
Not really, but, you know.
Well, how do you think musicianship, being a musician, being an artist in a sense, because people who write great books, who paint paintings, in some way their immortality is affected because their work lives past them. Is your immortality affected because you're a musician?
I wouldn't think so, honestly. I've always had a sort of a sacrilegious view of pop music, that it's eminently disposable and it's meant to be topical, and it's kind of the journalism of the arts, you know. And I don't mean this to be falsely humble at all. It's the way I look at all pop music that I like, however much I like it, is that it's a part of my life now, and it's meant to be topical. It's meant to reflect on my life. A friend of mine used the phrase recently of the soundtrack of your life is what he expects from a good album, that it should come along at the right time in his life to reflect his concerns, his passions, everything, and it should occupy that place in his life, and then he moves on and needs a new soundtrack for a new period of his life. And I think that's an apt metaphor for the way that I look at it, too, that it's a passing thing. Lyrics, I consider, should be like the editorial pages, but scrawled in graffiti. You know, it is, again, it's topical, and in a year it doesn't mean much. That's what it's meant to be, is a reflection of now. And I remember in the last album I used the metaphor of a mirror moving down the road, and sure enough, the mirror has to keep moving. You know, it can't go back and have flashbacks. And I think that's what a lot of it becomes in the past. So I'm quite happy to let the past go, and I'm uncomfortable with the whole idea, really, of music looking back too much. It's good to go back if something's been missed and pick it up stylistically. That's all very relevant, but the true retrograde music makes me kind of uneasy. It's like going back to the graveyard somehow.
That's why they call it dinosaur music.
Yeah.
I think our fans are incredible. We played a gig the other day. I don't remember where it is, and it's probably a good thing I don't remember. Well, actually, I probably do remember, but I won't say. But the audience was such a mix of 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, as well as 38, 40, 45-year-olds. I mean, there were a lot of bald heads out there and beards. And it's really incredible to see that, because it speaks of the kind of loyalty that I think we've gotten from our fans, that they've really grown up with the band.
Rush Roll the Bones tour coming soon to a city near you.